You begin in a hush of violet dusk, the kind that feels stitched together by slow-moving clouds and secret whispers. Somewhere in ancient Persia, where sand once sparkled like spilled sugar beneath a queen's sandals, you inhale a faint trace of rose water and something oddly fruity. You are told it's supposed to be calming. You pretend to believe this. A coppery breeze flickers against your cheek as you drift toward a palace courtyard where pomegranates droop sleepily from tangled boughs and musicians haven't started playing yet because, frankly, they're unionizing against sunrise. Somewhere behind an embroidered curtain sleeps Queen Persian II, rumored inventor of the world's first purple lip balm. You may scoff, but cosmetic history is cutthroat and very stain-prone. Soft footsteps guide you across mosaic tiles, each cool as moonlight. You see servants carrying bowls of crushed beetles, violets, figs, maybe last Tuesday's secret. No one confirms. Historians still debate whether the mixture truly stained the lips or merely stained reputations. Someone murmurs, perhaps you, perhaps memory. You are informed with gentle sarcasm that the color purple was once more expensive than a decent horse. You nod as if you have ever purchased either. The air tastes like jasmine and quiet ambition. Queen Persian is said to have insisted her balm not only tint the lips, but offer a faint, mysterious scent. Somewhere between distant spices and fresh gossip. You'll try not to judge. Beside you, eunuchs polish silver mirrors and sigh loudly because job satisfaction hadn't been invented yet. Far away, the city of Susa yawns awake. Market stalls clatter. Goats argue with pigeons. One insomniac poet attempts to rhyme empire with hire. One major historical fact settles elegantly into your mind. Purple dye, particularly Tyrian purple from sea snails, required crushing thousands of mollusks per ounce, the kind of hobby only an empire or a midlife crisis could justify. Meanwhile, your feet tingle from standing this long. You are not used to royal mornings, and neither are your arches. But you carry on because that's what heroes and curious viewers do. A cheeky warning drifts across the inner courtyard. You probably won't make it through this day. Please don't take that personally. It's a sleepy kind of fate. Before we wander further, do gently like and subscribe. It funds our ongoing investigation into historical facial moisturizers. And comment below your location and current time. Are you watching at 3 a.m. or are you a bold new napper seeking socially acceptable excuses? Now, let's ease into tonight's journey. You pass under a cedar archway, brushing fingertips across velvet drapes, stepping deeper into story like someone slipping into scented bathwater, wondering politely if ancient royalty ever dealt with chapped lips too. You continue down a corridor, so long it probably once counted as an Olympic sport. Torchlight wavers upon golden walls etched with lions, grapes, and one confused hedgehog, an unpopular royal mascot experiment. The scent changes subtly here, from floral to smoky, as palace cooks begin coaxing morning stew using ingredients no modern dietitian would endorse, lamb dates, and something that makes you sneeze like a startled camel. You hear whispers. Persian is awake. Somewhere a gong groans. That means makeup time. You prepare your racing heart, if one can race at half speed. A servant hands you a small ivory box carved with, yes, that same hedgehog. Inside lies an early version of the famed lip balm. It looks like mashed berries mixed with ambition. You are invited to sample it on the back of your hand. You politely pretend. The texture is surprisingly smooth, which surprises no one more than you. Across the courtyard, a royal scribe takes notes about your expression. You did not consent to this, but data collection has always been sneaky. One major historical fact shuffles forward like an eager librarian. Persian queens were famous patrons of beauty innovations, commissioning perfumes and pigments that traveled across trade routes stretching from India to Greece. Though records are patchy, cosmetic jars unearthed from tombs in Persepolis suggest elaborate concoctions of mulberry juice, saffron, and, rather boldly, powdered malachite. Historians still debate whether this was safe on skin or wildly optimistic. You hear someone mutter. Music begins, a sleepy pipe melody, as the queen's ladies-in-waiting glide in rustling silk, each with a small pouch of balm tied proudly at the waist like medieval Girl Scouts selling emotionally loaded cookies. They tell you parishioners believe purple lips convey divine favor, especially during diplomatic negotiations when you needed both dignity and kiss-proof pigment. You try not to imagine international treaties sealed with smudges. A tray of breakfast is offered, honey flatbread, pistachios, and something olive-shaped that winks suspiciously. Eat slowly, they caution. Ancient digestion is a delicate concept. You breathe in cardamom, chew with reverence, and pretend you're not slightly longing for cereal. From nearby, gossip drifts sweet and sharp. Apparently someone wore last season's eyeliner to a banquet and has been emotionally recovering ever since. Obscure cultural tidbit incoming. Some Persian noblewomen train pet birds, mynas, to compliment their makeup each morning. These flattery birds were considered essential for morale and extremely poor secret keepers. The hallway stretches on. Hotter now. Remember the street you walked past earlier? It's back. Only now layered with vendors calling out melon prices and claiming their dates can fix broken hearts. Someone sells small vials of purple gloss to commoners who dare dream royal dreams. You note the irony gently. The Balm has gone viral centuries too soon. By noon, your eyelids weigh more than the entire Achaemenid treasury. You're told this is normal. As you pause in front of a sun-drenched balcony, you notice your fingertips stain faintly plum from that earlier sample. You contemplate taking up diplomacy yourself, if only for the glamorous meetings. And so, dear traveler, you linger at the edge of luxury and fatigue, unsure if you've learned beauty's secrets or been gently recruited into a cosmetic cult. Either way, stay with me. The lip balm is only the beginning. You drift into the Queen's private garden, a place so fragrant the air feels almost chewable. Tall cypress trees lean in conspiratorially, as if sharing gossip about who last borrowed whose eyeliner. Roses tumble over brickwork like carefree nobles after a feast, and somewhere nearby a fountain burbles in the smug tone of someone who has never experienced drought. You trail your fingers along damp stone, half expecting the water to whisper beauty tips. Instead, it offers mossy indifference. Under a silk canopy, attendants are preparing the Queen's day face, a process involving powders, paste, and enough confidence to stun a small horse. You sit politely to the side, sipping something made from fermented quince that tastes surprisingly like ambition and bad decisions. One attendant swears that applying balm in a counterclockwise direction brings luck. Another insists clockwise prevents wrinkles. They glare at each other like rival philosophers battling over a lipstick wand. Historians still debate whether either method worked. Someone intones, as though footnoting your life. A major historical fact flutters in. Persian gardens weren't just pretty, they were power symbols. Called paradata, these walled paradises inspired everything from the biblical Garden of Eden to modern lawns you briefly water out of guilt. Queen Persides treated her garden like a boardroom. Here she received envoys, plotted alliances, and once, rumor says, ordered a diplomatic envoy to redo his entire look. You try not to stare at your own travel-worn outfit. Obscure cultural tidbit. Some noble women believed bees could detect unfaithfulness. Thus, they kept hives near the garden gate as moral security systems. You eye the buzzing guards nervously and offer a look of impeccable loyalty. The Queen finally appears, regal, unhurried, possibly wearing 20 layers of subtle plum. Her lips are so vividly purple you momentarily consider repainting your personality. She surveys her empire, then yawns. Relatable. She gestures vaguely, and servants begin clipping lavender for sachets said to encourage soft dreams and louder ambition. You pocket a petal, just in case. A sleepy afternoon lazily descends. Somewhere a peacock screams, not elegant, just loud. You wander back toward the fountain. Remember the ivy-coated wall you touched in Section 1? It's thriving, and now hosts a carving of the Queen holding a tiny jar of balm like a sacred relic. You begin suspecting branding is not modern at all. Here's your ironic line of the hour. Even in a world of conquest and political intrigue, nothing travels faster than rumors about someone's new shade of lip gloss. Night creeps close. You promise yourself you'll leave soon, but the garden has a way of convincing visitors to stay. Just one more minute. You wake before dawn because someone decided clanging cymbals are soothing. Spoiler, they are not. You stumble back toward the palace kitchens, where another day in the lip balm empire begins with exhausted cooks and suspiciously alert cats. Bowls of crushed mulberries crush beetles, and crushed dreams clutter the counters. Steam rises from copper pots with that unmistakable, too early for this energy. A young apothecary waves you over, eager to explain the process. He speaks in hushed tones, as if describing royal secrets instead of tinted chapstick. First, he says, you must dry violets in moonlight. Sun-dried violets apparently lack mystical patience. You nod gravely like someone who understands botanical drama. Next comes a binding agent, rendered fat, preferably goat, occasionally eccentric ostrich. You smile bravely despite a strong urge to run. Here's a major historical fact to ground you. Ancient Persian cosmetics often doubled as medicinal concoctions. Their balms claimed to prevent cracked skin, sunburn, and embarrassing public speeches. Whether any of this work remains beautifully unclear. Historians still debate whether the balm actually moisturized or just distracted everyone with color. The apothecary sighs. Obscure cultural tidbit. One courtier swore by adding a single tear to each batch for emotional depth, a job that eventually got outsourced to onion peelers. You try not to laugh, fail gently, and receive a stern look from a nearby grandmother who once stared down invading armies and now supervises cosmetic sincerity. By midday, you're pressed into service, stirring pigment with a pearl-handled spoon while the apothecary complains that no one appreciates the art anymore. They just want vibrant lips and fast shipping, he mutters, 2,500 years ahead of his time. Through an open window, you glimpse the queen testing today's batch in full ceremonial armor, because some days diplomacy requires both charm and chain mail. Remember that minor bird from Section 2? It's back, sitting judgmentally on a window ledge, practicing compliments like radiant and warrior chic in a tone that suggests sarcasm is hereditary. You try to mimic its confident head tilt, but end up looking like you swallowed a date pit sideways. A slow, drowsy realization hums through you. Perhaps this balm isn't just decoration, but a symbol of power, of identity, of controlling the narrative one smudge at a time. Or maybe it's just purple goo. Both things can be true. You help ladle the mixture into tiny ivory jars, each etched with that ever-watchful hedgehog. Every jar feels heavier than it should, perhaps with history, perhaps with goat fat. You no longer care. Evening falls again, painting the palace walls with sleepy amber. You wipe pigment-stained hands on your tunic, and convince yourself your contribution mattered. The apothecary thanks you in the most Persian way possible, by refusing to admit you helped. You step outside, stretching beneath a hazy moon, wondering if one day people will remember your name, or just whisper vaguely about that person who stirred the batch that changed everything. For now, let's rest our eyes. Tomorrow, the next shade awaits.